me find a way. This world is not my home, no. 'Cause my home has streets that are paved with coal. So why do I ever try to fit in? I keep circling back time and time again. Help me to find my way. I've been lost along the way. Help me to find a way to stay. Don't wanna run, don't wanna walk away. Help me to find my way. Help me to find my way. Help me to find a way to stay. I need more power. Surround me with your love.
Didn't show up yet.
Really? Okay. Glad you told me because I thought it did.
Yeah, I got the text message, but it's not on my page.
I feel this weight on top of me. Where do I go from here? It's consuming. When will I ever find my peace? Am I crazy for believing that you gave me a destiny? Am I crazy for knowing you care for me? Help me to find my way. I need you. Help me to find a way to stay. Navigate my footsteps in your life. Help me to
Don't let me share it to your page. I don't know why.
all I really need is you.
I've done it like 3 times.
If I can stay in your will, I'll be ready. Help me to find my way. Help me to find my way. Help me to find a way to stay. Don't wanna run away no more. Help me to find my way. Help me, help me, help me. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna manually post it. Hopefully, people can see it.
I'm calling out to you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, help me to find my way, my way, my way. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, yeah. My way.
And that beautiful song was Help Me Find a Way. And I think a lot of us are in a searching mode and looking and looking and looking. And that is by Chicago's own G-Body, Garrett Body. He's on bass. And as you can see, both of us are here today because today's show is going to be kind of, this is Memorial Day holiday. And I have my pal and my buddy and the doctor on Relationship Sunday. This is my pal, as all of you know, Dr. Khalid Scott. Welcome, Dr. Scott.
Thank you, Janice, as always. Thank you for bringing me into your home and making me feel like I'm never a guest.
You are never a guest. And I want to say hello to all the beautiful people out there, whoever is listening. Hello. Send us a message. Give us a comment. Say hi. Say happy Memorial Day. Say something. Share. We're going to let Khalid kick this show off. He had a lot on his mind starting the show. So, Khalid, I'm going to let you kick the show off now just to give you some context. Today, the show's, I'm going to say it's titled Love Fallout, but it's really about love and some of the repercussions when it doesn't work. So, Khalid, this is going to be your show today. You could say.
Thank you. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate it. And thank you for letting me utilize this forum to get a word out, because I think a lot of us, I think our spirits are being challenged right now, right? We're from Chicago. Majority of us are from Chicago. And it's like the last couple of months, the crime rate, it appears to have spiked. Earlier this year, we heard about the carjackings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it just seems like, in one swoop, we start hearing about, all the killings on the expressway, the armed robberies, the people getting killed at gas stations, home evasions, the children 500 deep going downtown, causing havoc and confusion and shooting. And now we have no boundaries, because now we're downtown Water Tower Place. And for decades, we knew better. We can cause havoc and chaos on the west side and on the south side, but you dare not drudge that downtown.
And now they're doing that.
And now they're doing it.
And that's problematic. And everyone's jumping on our mayor saying that, I knew she was going to do something. I didn't know what she was going to do, and I don't know how effective it's going to be, but I knew she had to do something, and everyone is jumping on her, telling her, she's a sellout and this is going to cause problems between the police and the young people. And she said something about, but when you go out, you have to know how to act. And they got offended with that.
Yes.
And to your point, you're absolutely right. These aren't new places. These aren't new spaces. We knew we didn't do that back in the day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What's the difference, you think?
Well, and so now we're doing this show, and it's called The Love Fallout Part 1, because we got to have another conversation, because we know this hour goes by real quick. And so this is my hypothesis, that if you meet a 15-year-old boy who goes and he shoots another kid dead, follow that shooter home, and you will understand why he felt comfortable and in his place to go and kill another human being. So cold, right? Because you'll see that the madness started at home. So my hypothesis is, when you have a deficit of love at home, you go out into the streets looking for it. And the streets is not where you should be looking for a foundation of love, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me give a perfect example. 2 weeks ago, a young 18-year-old decided that our grandmamas didn't mean anything. So he went to a grocery store and killed our grandmamas, right? And this was a Saturday or a Friday, I believe. And you know why grandmama was up in that grocery store? She was getting ready for Sunday dinner. And then when you see the fallout and the aftermath, and you got the families doing press conferences, they'll tell you, my mama was the pillar of the community. I think one of the women, she had a food pantry, that she was just doing on her own,
Mm-hmm.
18 years old. What did that young man go through by the time he was 18 to go drive 3 hours to Buffalo, New York, and kill people in that grocery store, and then videotaped himself doing it? Then 2 weeks later, another 18-year-old Hispanic young man decides to shoot his grandmother, travel to an elementary school, and kill 20 of our babies. So then me, the clinician, is like, I want to hear the extra. I want to hear the reasoning why. So when they've been doing backgrounds on both the boys, both of them come from where? Turbulent homes. Turbulent homes. Right? Homes where dads weren't in the house. Or if dad was in the house, he wasn't participatory. Homes where there was less structure. Homes where where they didn't feel loved. That they both were bullied horribly during school. And I think neither one of them graduated from high school. So if I don't find love and affection in my own house, how am I going to give love and affection, right? How can I turn a gun and face little 8, 9, and 10-year-olds, hearing them scream and cry for their life and still pull a trigger? How can I go in a grocery store and I can imagine our grandmamas was like, "Sir, please don't," and still shoot them? So this is our fault. This is our fault. We're so about me, mine, I.
Selfish, yeah.
Yes, we're selfish. We're selfish. We bring kids into this world and act like they're an accessory instead of a blessing that they are, right? Or we see a parent, who does adorn their kids. We think something's off with them. I told you my story, how I've been talked about more than I've been praised about being a participatory dad.
You say you've been talked about more than you've been praised?
Absolutely,
I have. There?
Absolutely. Absolutely. How dare a man take care of his daughter? So, but I get it. Because why, Janice? We're not used to seeing it. If I was a single mom, that fits the script that we're used to. We're not used to a single dad saying, "No, laying down with 5 women at one time, that ain't doing it for me. I want to pay attention to make sure my kid is okay."
Right.
Something wrong with him. Something wrong with dude. Something wrong with dude. I've even had people say nasty stuff like, "Well, man, you made your daughter your girlfriend." Yes. And that gets said. When a man says he loves his kids, what's wrong with you? Because women are so used to, "Man, my ex-wife got my kids. You got all my time." Or I'll sit up here and be a daddy to your children and forget that I have kids. We're used to that dysfunctional mindset, right? So then, as a clinician, somebody who meets clients, somebody who has worked with DCFS for over 25 years, and I've seen these abused and neglected kids, and I see that even though you put interventions in place, Janice, these kids grow up to be teenage parents, to have drug charges, to rob, steal, beat, and everything else. Because why? Their foundation was never created. Their foundation is made of sand.
So they don't have a foundation.
They don't have a foundation. So if I'm a young person and I don't have a foundation, that means I'm open to everything. That means I'm looking for love. I'm looking for acceptance. Go back to the day when gangs used to really, really go out and recruit young Black boys. The first thing that was said was, "That's my family."
Yep. You're right.
That's my family. I finally got a group of people who care about me, who are concerned about me. But see, with the gangs, it's an agenda. I'm not just going to give you free love. I'm not going to give you acceptance. You got to earn it.
There was a study recently done in Wired Points, and there was all kind of, every time someone put something out, people always have something to say. It struck me, and even though I was one of those women, it said 82% of the births of Black women, Black births in Chicago, 82% are unwed mothers.
Yes.
Doesn't that sound like an unreasonably high statistic?
Yes.
And then they went on to say that it could be contributing to violent crime, property crime, public disorder, shootings, and that's what they got ticked off about. Not the 82%. Now, the 82% bothered me because if you go back to 1970, it was only Black women, unwed mothers. It was only 30-some%. So
Yes.
now it's 82%.
Yes.
That was kind of surprising.
Yes.
And
yes.
to what you're saying, the fallout.
Yes. Absolutely.
Now, I'm not saying every single mother. I'm not saying that across the board. That's not.
Of course not. Of course not. I grew up in a single parent home, and I made it through because I had a tough cookie for a mom. And my mom exposed me to more than life in that neighborhood. And when I turned 18, I left and went to the Army.
Right.
And decided that I'm not going to keep living in the hood. I'm not going back to the hood. I'm going to live where I deserve to live. I don't want to live in an impoverished community. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I can do better because it's better out here. Heathcliff Huxtable told me that I deserve more.
Right.
And I listened to him.
Right.
And a whole bunch of us listened to him. That's why you think about the majority of people around our age, we got our degrees.
You know, but that's an interesting point that you said, Huxtable from the Cosbys. Because what does the media show these young people now? What does the music instill in a 7-year-old when she's talking about a WAP? And I ask her, do you know what a WAP is? And the little heifer will tell me what it is. At 7.
Again, that's our fault. Because I'm sitting here hearing 40-something and 50-something-year-old women singing the song like it's a national anthem. Back ago, y'all loved Anita Baker. Back in the day, y'all loved Patty. Now you love Cardi B, an ex-stripper, and God forbid you say that out loud. How dare you talk
then they'll
about
jump out.
her?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. For real? You go from Michelle Obama to Cardi B. And I'm man enough to stand on my ground. She has a responsibility. The first $1 million she made, she should have been like, okay, made my money. Now let me switch because now I'm a mother.
Right.
I don't want my daughters typing my name on the internet and seeing vulgar. But now she's a director at Playboy. She's a director at Playboy magazine.
Back in the day, the entertainers and even the sports folks, they had social consciences.
Yes.
They entertain a lot of songs. The lyrically they were about love and making love and all that, but they had social conscience. Now they're like mom is a word. Even the athletes, mom's a word. I mean what do we do about these kids? Because see, this is wreaking havoc in Chicago. When you have areas, I mean, think about the McDonald's. They went down to McDonald's on Chicago Avenue, and they went down there and they started shooting. So there's all kind of things going out. But at the being where the little boy got killed, when the mayor finally said something, what can we do? Now tourism is going to probably go down because, I mean, I'm not a tourist. I'm in Chicago, and I don't go down there on a Saturday afternoon anymore, Saturday evening.
Right.
What do we do? Yeah, they have an hour restriction. They have police there, but I mean, how much? There's more of them than police oftentimes. What are we going to do? That's a patch. What are we going to do about our kids? What can we do?
Right. The only thing we can do, because Janice, me and you with our backgrounds, we can say we're going to open up a new community center. Not going to work. Kids got places to go to. They can go to school. They can go to the park district. It's places for them. They can go to the Koch Center, the YMCA. So there's facilities where people can go, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, it goes back to the foundation. You got to take care of that kid in the house. You got to take care of the kid in the house. You got grandmamas don't even want to be called grandma or granny. Call me grandma. Or call me by my first name. It was a dignity about being a grandparent. It was a dignity about being a grandparent. Like, yes, you do call me grandmother or grandfather. Not today. You know? So what I'm saying is we have changed the structure that was in place. We have changed the patterns that got us through. And also, Janice, we, as the parents, we have not taught our kids how to sustain and how to have mechanisms to deal with the world. I told you before in many other forums, Janice, I got friends calling me, they 22-year-old daughters, they got to take them to Little Company of Mary, to the psychiatric hospital, or Hartgrove, or River's Edge, or Jackson Park, because she broke up with a boyfriend. Please don't think I'm lying when I tell you that. So a 22-year-old girl doesn't have the resiliency because a boy broke up with her and left her for another girl, and that's been going on for centuries.
Forever, yeah.
But now the girl's having nervous breakdown. Why? Because I didn't have a dad. I didn't have any guy to show me love. And then this first guy who I gave my body to, who told me he loved me, he dumped me, and now he dating my best friend.
So she goes,
wow.
She has a mental break because of that?
Absolutely. Because I thought I found the one that was going to fill the void. You know? And so now, you know, it's like, how dare you judge? How dare you look upon? How dare you? You know, I remember seeing people talk about Dwayne Wade's son, and people was giving their opinions about the way he dresses. And I'm like, guys, y'all not going to stop it. And that little boy got money behind him.
Right.
You just have to decide what your household looks like. You got to, Dwayne Wade has said he in the house with his son.
Yes, he is.
And that's okay with him. You run your house, you be present. Because if nothing else, and I guess the son, daughter's name is Zoe or something, at least he has a daddy supporting him. And that makes a difference.
Speaking of kids and speaking of sons, before that, Cynthia said something about don't leave Cardi B alone. You guys are judging again. Cynthia, expand on that and tell us how we're judging when it comes to Cardi B and WAP and all that. But speaking of celebrity kids, there was a recent article about LeBron James' son. And LeBron James' son took a girl to the prom, and there was a lot of hula about it because the girl's white. Yes. What's your feelings on that?
I'm in love with black love.
I am too, but
I'm in love with black love. And what happened was, when that picture went around, it contradicted what his mom and dad told us what's going on in that house. We see LeBron James, the richest athlete, married to his black high school love, and have 3 beautiful kids. And we hear how he goes in on the black agenda, even opening up a school in Ohio.
Yes.
So we thinking they are the Beyonce and Jay-Z of the sports world. And then we see his son with the ultimate Becky. And it's like, wait a minute. I thought you all, because you preach it to us, your fans, look at this black love. But then you're not reinforcing it in your own house. And so then people was like, well, look at the school he goes to. He goes to Sierra Canyon, and it's not that many black girls. When you are worth $900 million, LeBron could have called me like, Khalid, I need Anaya to go to prom with my son. Just have her at the airport. Yes, sir. Naya, $900 million, get ready. Take your lip gloss and your eyeliner.
Okay, let me ask this, because you're the parent of a dating age child.
Yes.
Would you be absolutely shocked if your daughter went out with a white guy?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because I've taught my daughter to love us. And for me, I've been the best role model of black men, strength, love, and courage, and support, and everything else. And it's funny you should ask that.
I just
No. Well, let me give you for instance. If I thought my daughter would go the other way, because my daughter's at a PWI, right? And my daughter speaks German. You know what I'm saying? And her mom has, European in her background, German, in fact. Well, my daughter was at a dinner party a couple of weeks ago for the end of the year because she lives in a dorm called the German dorm with all German students. Well, she's sitting at the table and she's the only black girl at the table. And so she tries to incorporate herself into the conversations at the table. Well, a German young lady turned, because my daughter made the mistake and said, well, my great-great-great-grandfather is German, which is the truth.
Okay.
Well, the young lady turned to Anaya and said, well, Anaya, was he a slave owner?
Ah!
So if my daughter had the inkling that this wasn't 1965 Selma, that little girl put her right back in her place. And how I know, my daughter called me right after she got done with the dinner party because we FaceTime each other. And she was crying as soon as the picture came up, she was crying. Daddy. And I'm like, oh God.
Now what?
I'm 900 miles away from my kid. Daddy. And then she told me the story and I'm listening to her. And in my madness and in my sadness, I was like, thank you, God, that girl did that to my daughter. Thank you, God, for letting her be in that moment.
Yeah.
Because now daddy's words make sense.
That's true.
Now daddy's years of saying, because my daughter calls me Dr. Umar Johnson Jr. He calls me that. And I said, let's go with it. Let's go with it. Because, and I'm not teaching my daughter to hate. I have taught her to be aware.
Okay.
And awareness, and she's got to be aware because she's trying to be a neurosurgeon one day who can speak German. And
I'm gonna have to buy that, but I don't understand what the difference was. When I grew up, it was a huge family, and my dad was very much like yours. And we went to a white school, and there were white boys there, but I didn't look at them as potential mates. I looked at them as they could be friends or whatever, but that's it. But my brothers, who were in the same household, we were in the same household, same mama, same daddy. They went out with white girls. I never understood that.
Right.
Didn't they get the lecture?
Right. But you got to remember too, the indoctrination that black women have been through, it looks different than black men. So what happens is black men know that we're hated. But see, the contradiction is women want us.
But white men will try to, so what's the difference?
Again, the men hate us, but their wife, their sisters, their nieces, their granddaughters, their cousins, their goddaughters want us.
So even though that's taboo and you're taught that and you understand why and you're forced to read the newspaper, you still go after it?
Absolutely. And then also, too, remember, black women make us work.
What?
Black women make us work. Y'all hold us accountable, which you're supposed to.
Okay.
Which you're supposed to. But if I'm an athlete and I'm so used to getting the cheers and the beers, I don't need Tamika telling me I need to go in there and do my homework. I need Amy, here's my car keys. Let me take you to Denny's. And then I'm going to, let you put a baby in my stomach all in one night.
Particularly if your father's worth, how much is it? 900 million? That would be a productive 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying.
I told you I was going to put Anaya on the plane if she got the call. So, and I talk to my mentees about this all the time because a lot of them have dated, outside the race, and they have it's the same script. Coach, I knew I was going to kick it with them, but I wasn't going to marry them.
Oh,
so with men, you got to take it with a grain of salt because it's like, I'm going to have my fun. I'll think about reality later.
And they're going to just have their fun. That's
absolutely. So when my daughter got to the campus at Amherst, she was like, Dad, all the black boys are with Hispanic and white girls. Why don't they want to be with us? because Anaya, you're Michelle Obama. They marry you when they turn 27.
When they're ready to settle down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not to play with.
But thank God, Anaya, going back to our topic, she had a foundation built in. But what if you that little young lady who don't have that foundation
Right.
and you're looking for love? Look at the young lady who committed suicide, the Miss USA.
Oh, that was.
We thought she had it all together. And then, you know, her mom has been interviewing now. And she said, my daughter has been depressed the majority of her life.
And has tried it before, in spite of all of her accomplishments.
Absolutely.
And she was beautiful.
Absolutely.
Beautiful,
and she said,
beautiful body, smart.
Right. And she said in the letter that she wrote her mom, every day I wake up, I wish I was not here. So she knew how to put the mask on.
She was good too.
She was fantastic at it. And just think, if she is dealing with that, what about somebody who doesn't have what she had to bring to the table? So it's important that we all pay attention. It's important that when your friend call you like, Janice, man, I'm having a bad day. Maybe, Janice, you don't tell them, girl, give me a couple of hours.
Right.
Maybe you like, okay, here, give me a couple of seconds. Let me clear the line. Girl, what's going on? I told you, one of my friends called me. He had the shotgun in the car seat with him.
Oh.
He called me at 1 o'clock in the morning. What if I was not up watching TV and picked up the phone? But luckily I did pick up the phone, and we talked until he got to the hospital and checked himself in. But see, we don't do that. We don't do that. I just told you before we started, I had a season for the last month and a half. Mm-hmm. Thank God I had my advisory board around me where I could call them and tell them, man, I'm challenged today. I'm challenged today. Thank God I had them. But what if I didn't have them? And again, look what we're dealing with in life. So now we're scared to go out.
We are.
But we've been locked in for the last 2.5
couple years, yeah.
You know, we're hearing about people dying, who we love, suicide rates. You know, we're in a war that probably we're going to get involved in at some point.
Oh, please.
Gas is $5 a gallon. You know, you can't even get formula baby food. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like everything is coming at us. And if you don't have a solid foundation, you're vulnerable. So for me, Janice, let's get back to the love.
I want to get back to the love, and I want to talk about women. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, and I know he wasn't, I don't know if he was one of your favorites or not, but if I don't mention Kevin Samuels, but I got to read this. It says basically getting back on the love and talking about women and their self-esteem. It says women have low self-esteem because society tells them that they must look a certain way and act a certain way in order to be loved by men. And because of this, women let men treat them however they want, with the outlook that it's okay to treat them this way because they're really not good enough for society. And with the recent passing of Kevin Samuels, I know, you know, a lot of people liked him. Some people didn't. Whatever opinion you had of him, he made a footprint. He had a footprint. A lot of men feel like, you know, this is something that I've heard all my life. This is what they talk about in the barbershop, in the gym, whatever. Well, for women, we hadn't heard about it. And the way he talked to them, man, he was sometimes he appeared to be okay, but many times he was rude. And those women that may have had self-esteem issues, and sometimes we mask it by saying we're all that, and we know we're not, but sometimes it's how we mask it. What do you think about Kevin Samuels' impact in his brief stint doing what he did?
Yes. In my humble opinion, because I work with people who are self-esteem challenged, people who know how to put on masks and smile, that Kevin Samuels was the biggest turn on. He was the biggest turn on to women. So
the biggest turn on?
Turn on. If he was right here, I would take my clothes off and be with him. Turn on.
Why do you say that?
Okay. So, Janice, you have brothers, correct?
Yup.
Talk to every one of your brothers and tell them when you treat women really nice as compared to treat them badly, which one works? If you got five brothers,
treating them badly.
You said what now?
Treating them badly.
Yes. So what happened was when he first came out, he would really be on brothers about empowering us, right?
Yes.
He had 70,000 followers, right? When he turned around and started talking about women, and then when he had that episode that went viral, when he was telling the 30-something-year-old woman that you don't deserve a high-end brother because you got 2 kids and you this and that.
And how much you weigh and all this.
Blew up.
That's when he blew up? Okay.
That's when he blew up with that interview. And he went from 70,000 to 1.4 million. And every night, Janice, multiple women called into his show. It wasn't, and he didn't get on begging people. He had ladies lined up. So, who was that on then? Well, you know my thing about victim versus volunteer. You or my daughter are not getting on his show for him to berate you, I don't think. I don't think. But if I'm a 28-year-old and I got 3 kids by 3 dudes, and I go on his show with a bonnet on,
I know,
and I'm popping bubble gum,
I know.
That's why one of his taglines was, "You can't make this up."
Yeah, he would say that.
You can't make this up because the scenario. So men are sitting there like, wait a minute. He's cursing at them. He's yelling at them.
Mm-hmm.
He's hanging the phone up in them. And every night at 9 o'clock, they are calling in. So what did y'all teach us in that moment, Janice?
What we taught you is that if that's how you want to get the numbers or do whatever, or even get the women, that's how you treat us.
Absolutely.
We're reinforcing that behavior, actually.
Yes. So after that, you can't be mad at him because he's not a villain no more. The first time he did it and somebody didn't check him, after that, he was just making his money.
Yeah.
He was making his money. So, but that tells you how, again, going back to, we're so used to dysfunction. We're so used to toxicity. We're so used to drama and chaos that we have normalized it. So when something healthy comes to you, you like, get away from me, you weirdo.
Yep. Like what's wrong?
What's wrong with you? So my mentees who are the good young men, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be with him. He a goofy.
Right.
My mentees who be like, what up?
Oh, and that's what they like.
But it happened in our age. When I was in my 20s and was the goofy guy, you know, luckily I had a little bit of street in me. And that's how I got it. But if I was that full-fledged nerd boy, I would have been alone. Because women like that guy with a little edge to him. And that tells you deserve better. You deserve better. But again, if daddy didn't teach you that and you saw mama with a revolving door of men coming in, where was you supposed to get it from? And so those girls had these babies and these sons, and now their son, 16 years old, blowing people's heads open. So what do we do with that? My daughter is scared to drive in Chicago because she's scared of being carjacked.
I understand that.
Yes. But how unfair is that? How unfair is that? One of my mentees took me downtown for a steak dinner. God bless him, Marcus.
Gibson's.
Gibson's, yes. And I was nervous driving downtown.
You should have been.
But when I got downtown Friday night, Janice, it was empty downtown.
Friday night this week?
Friday night. I did not see a lot of foot traffic that you used to seeing on a Friday night, especially for a holiday.
Right.
Mm-mm. So that this is the world we live in. So we got to go again. We got to go back to basics.
And we should go back to basics. It just seems like to me, and I don't know, maybe the whole dating scene changes and morphs as you get older, but doesn't it seem like people aren't into relationships, they're into hooking up?
Yes.
Is that where it's going?
Yes. I got a few single friends, and I love how women have learned. If I want to know about how men move around, I'll need to ask another man. So I got friends who are calling me like, Khalid, I'm dating this guy. And Khalid, he said something to me that was really out of pocket. And Khalid, he asked me, did I want to do Dutch? And Khalid, wait a minute, Khalid. I ain't used to these dudes.
Right.
And I said, well, let me explain. These 50-something-year-old dudes who are now single, they divorced, widowed, whatever, they said they did their hard work in the front end.
Oh.
Now, due to, what is that called? Midlife crisis or whatever. It's like, now I'm a date on my terms. So you come over here to the house and we can eat. I ain't got to take you out no more. You know what I'm saying? If we go out, hey, we're going to go somewhere affordable. Because at the end of the day, I got 20 women want to come and hang with me. If you ain't on board with it, that's fine. Nice meeting you, sweetheart. Next. I told you 4 of my male friends who are married in their 50s came to my house 4 Saturdays in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. Khalid, I'm going to need the number to your divorce attorney and to a marriage counselor. Because I'm tired of my wife. And I told you, I had to tell them, go home and be with your wife, dude. Don't do this. I get it. You've been married 20 plus years. And you used to her. And she doesn't have the 24-inch waist she had back in her 20s and 30s. But going back home, because in another few years, we're going to be on colonoscopy bags. And Halle Berry, 35 years old, ain't going to change your bag for you. And they like, Khalid, you right. Let me go on back home. So men seeing dating differently. Or the nice guys like me saw our boys who were the players get over. And they're like, why do I got to put the work in when dude over there got 8 kids by 6 women? And I'm trying to play the nice guy, and his bed ain't never empty. Again, what have y'all taught us? So when we lower the bar, it stays there. And when you try to raise that bar back up, you're going to get a bunch of resistance.
Yeah, because like you said, you're going to get resistance because they have 20 other people waiting on them. So then you just get used to sitting at home watching Lifetime.
Absolutely. So you get these buddies with benefits. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, what do you do with that? And when I'm talking to my female friends, I'm telling them, if you want that warm body next to you every night, this is the criteria now. You cannot ever nag him. Never.
Hold it. You
ever nag him.
Wait. You tell women this?
Yes.
You tell them they can't. Okay, go finish this.
You can't ever nag him.
Never nag.
What does that mean, Khalid? You tell him a concern one time. If he don't act on it, you better let it go because it don't mean nothing to him then. You keep bringing it up, that's a nag. He don't have to have somebody nagging him. He was married for 20 years and got a divorce and lost half his money. So he will never be with another person that makes him feel like he being nagged.
Oh. What's another not to do? Listen, ladies that are maybe out there, maybe single, that maybe want to know some of these little nuggets.
Yeah. Another thing I tell them is play Sade. Play Sade. So they was like, well, what would that do playing Sade's music?
I don't know.
I said, that's not what I mean. When you think of Sade the singer, what comes to your mind with her? Janice?
She's just cool and sexy and understated. I love Sade though. So
Right. Sade looked like she do this.
Yep, she just cool. She just
don't nothing bother her. Don't
she
nothing move her.
She's cool.
I tell ladies, play Sade. Play Sade, that man will give you everything you want.
When you act like nothing bothers you?
Right. Right. Men base their actions with you on your reaction. If I do something and you act all erratic, that will make me do this with you.
Like,
but
whoa.
If you play Sade
and be like,
then you're a challenge. You're a challenge. Because I can't figure you out. Because most women would have been losing their mind if I left the dishes in the sink. But you like, oh, don't worry about it, baby. Do it tomorrow. Because what we also learn with women, when women are unbothered, that means her attention is somewhere else.
That's right. That's true. When she don't say nothing, when she quiet,
absolutely.
When she too cool, yeah. That's
absolutely.
True. That's true.
Thirdly, always play on his ego. Always play on his ego. Men we wear our egos like we wear our jewelry.
When you say play on his ego,
play on his ego.
Specify an example, please.
He used to be the captain of the football team at Simeon.
Okay.
Oh my God. And now he's 50-something years old. Oh my God, you still got that body, dude. Look, you still that football player, dude. No, I'm not. What's up, babe? You know, I was at the gym trying to do something. Babe, what you want to eat? You gonna cook for me? Yeah. What you want to eat? Dave, you ain't got to go to you don't have to take me to the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to do nothing. Just what do you want to eat? Man, baby, you gonna cook for me? Man, and cook him that meal and bring it to him. Now, I know most women will be like, Again, if a man grew up with a good mama or a good grandma, and they made him feel like he was the prince of Egypt,
and they did,
king of Egypt, we respond to that. When you become that all over the place nagger, getting on our nerves, next, because I ain't got to deal with it now at 50 no more. I dealt with it in my 20s. I dealt with it in my 30s. I dealt with it in my 40s. I'm not dealing with it in my 50s. I ain't got to. And then this. The only thing I got to do is join online. And then I can get more women. I can get more women online. So see, because things has changed, you know what I'm saying? People got more options. People got more options. So I ain't got to take what you're not given. But again, we're suffering the consequences. We're suffering. I'm hearing young men in their 20s like, well, I ain't got to get married. We can live together and have a kid.
That's true. And be one of that 82% in Chicago.
Absolutely. Because what happens is those 20-some-year-olds, they watch their mom and dad go through a bitter divorce. They watch their auntie and uncle go through a bitter divorce. My uncle and my dad lost all their money. So why am I married this chick? I'm going to have a baby with her. I'm going to take care of the business. The baby going to have my last name. Voila. And if something go bad, it ain't no paperwork.
Because I'm not married. I can just go to the next.
Married. I just got to pay child support. So, again, we lost our foundation. And it's going to take a couple of generations to get it back. But see, we got to get started now, Janice. We got to build this village back up. And I don't know if people are invested anymore. What good Black family show on TV right now?
That's what I was saying about the media. Everything you see on the media is drug-related, shooting, violence. What good, like you said, the Huxtables, right?
Right.
What do we?
Right. The Blackish is
It's
canceled.
gone now. That's
This
gone.
is Us with Beth and what's his name?
Gone.
They gone. So we don't have any Black families on TV. And you know what Good Times did for us. You know what the Cosby Show, Urkel Show, I forgot the name of it. All those shows. So then we got these Tyler Perry shows.
Oh,
God. Everybody dysfunctional. No good marriages.
Nothing against Tyler Perry, but you're right. That's dysfunction. That's dysfunction. You're right.
Yeah, Giselle, the Wonder Years. That's cool, but give it a year or two, it's gonna be off.
It'll be gone.
The guy who was the producer of it, who used to star in it, he just got fired for some sexual stuff.
Oh, I heard about that. Oh, yeah. Sure
So
did,
see what I mean? Everything. So the reason why, again, I knew he wasn't going to cover everything in this one show. That's why I want to come back at the end of June and do part 2, because on that show I want to do real solution based.
And that's what I want to talk about, because we can always talk about the problem. But we really do need to talk about solutions, even down to the point as far as our kids, because that really concerns me. Chicago has 3 beautiful seasons when people love to go downtown: spring, summer, and fall. Yeah. Winter, I mean, some people go for winter for Christmas lights, but this is when you normally go. We got Gospel Fest coming next week, and I'm thinking, am I going to even go to Gospel Fest?
Well, what I think is going to happen, and this may make people feel a little better, I saw a bunch of police downtown Friday. And I'm assuming when they have these events, everybody and a lot of my friends are cops, and they doing mandatory work days.
Yeah,
so it's going to be a presence. It's going to be a presence. But again, you still got to be careful. May not be the best thing to go to a party on 78th and Stony. May not be the best thing to do in July. May not be the best thing to do. May not be the best thing. Like I have to do home visits, right, at my job. I'm doing drive-bys. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Mr. Veteran, come downstairs to the lobby. Hey, Mr. Veteran, you okay? Gotcha. Okay, let me be on to my next visit.
Wow. I
can't be still because my veterans live in impoverished neighborhoods.
Of course.
And I'm driving up in that nice
in that Cadillac, come on.
Well, not the Cadillac, but we got government vehicles, right?
Oh, okay.
But they're nice.
Okay.
They're nice. So it's like you got to think of all this. Nothing can be fluid no more. Nothing can be fluid. Because again, I went after the grandmamas got killed at the grocery store last Friday when my daughter came home Saturday. Last Friday morning, I got up at 6 a.m. and went to Jules at 6:30. I have never been to somebody's Jules that early.
I went to the store real early too right after that. Even this week I went at 7:30 in the morning.
There you go. I was in and out.
Yep.
I was in and out. And it was mostly seniors in there.
Yep.
So this is how you got to think. When I'm at the gym, I try to work near the machines that if something go down, I can run to the door. It's stuff
You're
like
thinking about that in the gym? Oh, geez.
Because think about it. Everything else, you just got to, because you got to be on alert.
You do. You have to think about the movie theater, the grocery store, schools, heaven forbid, those poor teachers. Oh, gosh.
Yes.
Anyway, everywhere. You're right. Office buildings. I mean, you expect that always to happen in office buildings.
Absolutely. So I want to say this again. Guys, it's never too late to try to make things better. So tonight is almost 7:00. Go back to having Sunday night dinners with your family.
Yes.
Where everybody got to come to the table, put these cell phones, keep them upstairs in your bedroom. And for a half an hour, 45 an hour, y'all sit down and have conversation and cocoa and coffee.
There you go.
Mamas or daddies, let your kids come in the kitchen and teach them how to cook. Janice, my daughter is back home. My baby made fried chicken and macaroni, tuna casserole and tacos, 19 years old. You know that's unheard of.
Come on now.
She supposed to be watching Cardi B right now.
No, she not. But anyway, yeah, I know what you're saying.
Absolutely. Our boys, you know what I'm saying? They're emasculated now. You know, they're emasculated now. You know, so we're not teaching them to be strong. You know, we teaching them like just be spoiled.
Yeah, to be spoiled.
So who gonna marry my daughter then? Who gonna marry my daughter? Do I get the tough football player? But then he used to cheating and putting his hands on women.
Yep.
So what's the alternatives? And now even nerds are getting to be a trip.
Nerds?
Nerds. Because again, they know, well, the women tired of the jock. So they coming at me now, but you know what? You didn't come to me 10 years ago.
So
but
now I'm
I'm
gonna
about
be
to
more.
make you pay. And now I got this money and I drive this nice car, you know, and I'm going to the gym. And instead of those corn rim glasses, I'm putting in contacts. So I'm about to do a 180 on you. We got work to do.
We have a lot of work to do, and I can't wait to our discussion next time because it almost sounds like to me that women are at a real disadvantage here.
And even men are too.
Okay.
Even men are too. We both are. Because if our women aren't right, us men are right. If the men ain't right, the women are. It ain't us against them. It's got to be, we got to come together and be better.
I agree.
I really want to get rid of that narrative.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? The
Okay,
reason
Khalid.
why Ronnie is going after Becky is because, man, I don't want to nag. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody with red hair and long acrylic nails. I want the natural beauty. It's the mindset.
So, Khalid, I got to come back to this because this was last month and you probably forgot. If you meet a woman who is beautiful, has a great personality, does not nag, have a Sade attitude, would you reconsider marriage again?
Yes, but years.
Okay, then we can go. We can go. Okay.
Years from now.
Oh my God. Oh,
Absolutely.
good for you.
Absolutely.
Good for you.
Because if I'm sitting up here talking about change and making things better, I got to be about it too.
Right. You got to be about it.
Yes.
All
Absolutely.
righty then. And Dr. Gazelle, she has part 2, continuing conversation and solutions. And that's absolutely it. She's right on the money.
Absolutely
it. So, you know, our time is always, it goes by so fast all the time. And it's always a pleasure to talk to you. And thank you for taking moments away from your Memorial Day holiday. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you so much. I'm hoping things get better. I know you said that you're in a period now.
Well, I got my cape back on. The kryptonite is out the way.
Okay.
But again, going through those seasons make you better. And it makes
True.
you value when the days are good.
True.
Yes.
And I'm praying for God to deliver my throat and my voice and my allergies. This has been a really bad allergy season for me. So I want everyone to be blessed and have a great week. And we look forward to seeing you next week. And remember, Khalid will be back on at the end of the month for part 2.
All right.
All right.
Peace out, everybody. Be safe.
Bye-bye.